Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the North American Strikers League. We are coming at you with round one of the playoffs, where Core Overflow are going to be taking on LYTE here for the Eastern Conference. My name's Gordo. I'm joined today by Borg. Borg, how are you doing, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good. I not the greatest finish of NASL, but had fun doing it. That was about a week and a half ago now or something like that. So, been some time to reflect. Got a new team, new vision in life. I'm now focused on casting, and I'm excited to cast this series with you, Gordo, today.
Good stuff, good stuff. I'm excited as well, Borg, but I am going to drag you back to your old life for just a little
Okay.
bit here.
Yeah.
We're in the East Conference right now. Most of
Yeah.
the time we've been paired up, we've been in the West Conference. Now that we're back in the East, we're in your home territory. You've played up against both of these teams. What are you expecting for Core Overflow up against LYTE here tonight?
Um. Honestly, Core Overflow have been looking incredibly dominant, obviously. However, I do think that they are beatable, and I think LYTE have been showing a lot of signs of life recently. We kind of in week three, LYTE was looking a little shaky. Some people were like, "Oh, they might not make playoffs. Prodigy's is going to take them over," but they basically stomped Prodigy's, told everyone, "We're here to play. We're here to dominate." And Core Overflow with the first place, choosing LYTE. So a little disrespect, thinking we think you're the easiest team to beat, and I think LYTE's going to come and try to upset them here.
Yeah, LYTE do come in as the fourth seed as well, so we could say all else being held equal, LYTE would be the default choice, I guess you could say. But yeah, Core Overflow coming in here as the first seed. They're riding off of first. They're getting first place off of round diff, gold diff, and penalties. So whatever way you want to split the tiebreakers, it would be Core Overflow taking that first spot at 5-2-0. LYTE do manage to sneak into playoffs at 3-1-3, so going to be still substantially better than fifth place, but definitely not having quite as dominant of a season as Core Overflow has here. So definitely going to be expecting a lot more out of Core Overflow in our first match.
Yeah, one thing I'm definitely looking to see here is the goalie play from both these teams. I mean, both of these goalies, arguably two of the best goalies in the entire world. Definitely, I think the playoffs is kind of stacked on every single team with goalies. We have Barcode, Vaughn playing goalie. He's also very, very good right now, showing he can play. Caleb, and then Streak, the matchup we have today. I mean, Caleb, more of a storied name recently on release, just hitting rank one, has another account in the top 10 as well right now, I believe, and he's just kind of dominating. But with these Amy nerfs coming in as his main character, I do think, maybe, he might struggle a little bit, but he has been practicing the Dubu, he has been playing the Estelle, he's been playing a lot of different picks, and then, Streak, kind of the same thing, known for being able to pick basically anything in this game. I'm really excited to see both these goalies kind of face off and who can hold it down the hardest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, seen a lot of Dubu out of You Already Lose, at least in these last couple of weeks, and they've been going on a win streak, starting at right about the same time. I mean, they lose both matchups to Dog Like Spike, but ever since then, they've been on a 4-game win streak. Core Overflow, of course, have been riding a win streak for quite a while here, so going to be looking real, real good. I mean, some stats that really stand out to me here between these two teams is really the KO count. If you start looking at some of the stats sheet that were available there, these guys on LYTE, they're averaging maybe about 2 KOs a game each, 3.6 for Leo Leon, who's kind of their brawler player. That's where we get to see
Yeah.
that the most. But Core Overflow, both Elo Heaven and Int Overflow, they're averaging 6 KOs a game each. So just the level of the ability to take other folks off the map, even with a shorter average game time, is just completely crazy out of Core Overflow.
Yeah, and kind of jumping onto that, something I want to highlight for Core Overflow specifically is they've been playing with each other for a long time, right? They've been playing with each
Oh
other
yeah.
pretty much since the start of beta, if I remember correctly, and if not sooner. So however long they've been playing together, it's been a long time. So I think Elo Heaven and Overflow, the brother combo, literal brothers in real life, by the way. They have a lot of synergy together, as you can see by that KO count, and Streak being a fairly aggressive goalie as well, helping them out with that damage. It's really just their coordination that I think is putting them above so many of these other teams, right? They've been playing with each other for so long, both just also incredibly good players. But just being able to kind of communicate with each other, whether it's telepathically through that brother synergy or whether it's, in comms. I haven't really heard the comms yet for them, but I don't really know. They're managing to find so many KOs. I know when I played them, playing brawler versus them, like I played one game of X versus them, it felt like I was playing really well, but it felt like it also didn't matter because there were so many people hitting me at the exact same time, or they would just not let me touch the core ever. It was very, very hard. So definitely excited to see that forward synergy pair up today.
Yeah, and whether you want to say it's in spite of that or because of that, these guys are keeping the shortest average game time in the East Conference as well. As a result of that, they're averaging about 15 minutes a game, so they're closing these out pretty dang quickly on average, and pretty easy to do that, I suppose, when you're constantly KOing your opponents this much.
Yeah, and I mean, Leo Leon pretty known for his KOing and his brawling as well. I think it's a little harder. Corey definitely more of a passive midfielder, more focused on that
Mhm.
core control, especially with Era being his main character. And I don't know. I feel like they're gonna turn it up today. I think they're gonna surprise everyone, possibly take at least a few sets off a core overflow. And I'm excited. Hopefully, we get a full 3 games here as we start getting into draft now.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping for that one, Borg, as yeah, we are going to be on Atlas's lab for this game number 1. Looks like a Drakkar ban being hovered here for LYTE, actually, is whose perspective we're looking at first here. And it's going to be the X ban from Core Overflow.
Yeah, we have the Zentaro hover here from Leo, and I'm actually curious if he's gonna lock it in. He has been actually talking to me recently. We've been speaking a little bit, I've been giving him a couple of Zentaro tips, and there you go with the Zentaro lock-in on Atlas Lab, probably one of his best maps besides Demon Deus. I'm excited to see how well he can actually, we're talking about the KOs, Zentaro known for his damage, and with the Estelle pair up here, there's gonna be a lot of damage on the side of, LYTE. But on the other side, because we do have the Dubu, not really known for his aggression and damage, more for his position control. We actually have Amy Estelle and the Asher as well. I'm assuming this is Asher forward. Streak has been practicing Asher goalie, but I don't think this is the Asher goalie. I think it's going to be the Amy goalie, Asher Estelle forward.
I'd agree with that as well. Something I do want to call out here. This is going to be Leo Leon's first game of... Oh, it's not the Zentaro. I don't know why I was thinking it was Zentaro. He was hovering it for a while. It is going... No, it is the Zentaro.
It is the Zentaro, yeah.
Yeah, am I crazy? That definitely showed up as Juliet on the loading
it's
screen.
Spectator bug, yeah.
Okay, well, cool. So this is Leo Leon's first game of Zentaro in the NASL, so that's definitely going to be a cool one to check out here, as he has not picked up that champion yet.
Yeah, he definitely has been playing it a lot in other tournaments and in solo queue and other things, because we have been talking about it a lot to each other. That definitely, I was not lying when I said that, but as we get started, already a barrier down, and I mean already the health bar's down too, the second barrier down as well, and you just, as of talking, quick round there, quick set.
Yeah, kind of just... Yeah, just goes right through. You already lose his hands, sneaks it right between his legs there, and that's going to be a quick, easy score for Elo Heaven, as they're going to try to reset the pace here for LYTE. Corey stepping forward, going to immediately have to go elusive to avoid that glitch pop, and Leo now going to step on down towards the bottom, looking to knock open one of these goal barriers. You already lose, trying to clear it back out with the rollout, but Elo Heaven, he's already opened up the goal single-handedly, not going to take this one slow at all. Finally going to get cleared back out, but it's right back over to Elo, knocked on down into Overflow, looking to knock it back up with the Rose Warp, but can't quite find the target. Streak still managing to clear it out, but that's going to be a KO earned for Elo Heaven, and he knocks right into the goal. That's a 2-0 start here for Core Overflow.
Yeah, I mean, just really insane core flip play there from Elo Heaven, and just being at the perfect spot to receive the pass after that first barrier to get the second one. 2 quick barriers down, and I mean, honestly, just a really quick goal. And they're struggling here to keep their health bars up on the side of LYTE, and they're just getting out pressured really on all corners.
Yeah, and the risk here is you start to fall behind, especially early on. You start to lose out on those levels. Elo Heaven already at level 3 here, going to be just a little bit more threatening, and it might just get worse, as the core flip going to get kind of stuffed there by the Tofu Fortress. Corey, though, still managing to clear out. Elo Heaven is just bullying You Already Lose, by the way, in the goal, knocking him down very low on stagger and not willing to let up at any point, but it does come back over to Leo, who is going to manage to open things up. Corey clearing it back out, and Elo Heaven taking a fair bit of damage himself, going to have to play a little bit safer for the time being, but You Already Lose at risk of getting knocked out of the goal arc entirely. One-on-one here between Elo Heaven and You Already Lose. Neither one managing to go down, but Corey does manage to find themselves the KO with the piercing shot. Now there's going to be the special, and there's going to be the goal for Leo.
Yeah, Caleb You Already Lose doing actually amazing job surviving there from Elo Heaven. I think Elo Heaven, putting a lot of focus into that KO, but couldn't quite get it, and Corey and Leo just punishing them for that overextension on Elo Heaven. And now, I mean, they're right back in this game. Leo's got flip, and he's just got a barrier. Just uses flip here. Tries to get the second one. Dubuwell's going to help him out, but Streak able to save that one.
Yeah, the blow up of the center there doing a lot of work on Elo Heaven, but Leo is going to end up staggered, and he is deep behind enemy lines, so going to have to keep his wits about him as he gets snagged there by another piercing shot. Elo Heaven getting knocked away at the exact same time. Into Overflow going to manage to land one of those, and Leo finds himself a nice little KO in the goal, and now playing evasively, going to be able to open things up, utilize that numbers advantage. Corey stepping forward with the piercing shot, but can't quite make it in there. Now going to be Into Overflow, just trying to clear things out, buying time for Elo Heaven to rejoin us and stepping forward into Leo. But there's Leo once again sneaking in there with the blade slash. Takes us to 2-2.
Yeah, and the rush, the blink coming in that secondary. And he also, I want to highlight, had a beautiful KO onto Elo Heaven. He's definitely, you know, been practicing this character, I can tell, and he's been taking my tips to heart because he did that true combo where the primary straight into the secondary onto the staggered target. You literally can't evade that. It's completely unevadable if they are staggered. And really well played as he gets chunked a little early, but takes a barrier for his troubles, and they're looking up here on the set. They could take this.
Yeah, no, a great comeback here from a rough start for LYTE as they're now opening up the goal. They're on the verge of taking themselves set number one. Leo tries for the call out, can't quite get it. You already lose, going to be able to go for the core flip and clear it out. Elo Heaven stepping up, but gonna get knocked down for it. Goal is opened up for both teams, but the numbers advantage for LYTE gives them a chance to close things out here. Leo stepping forward, goes for the lie rush, can't find it off the center, still going in, and Corey knocks it in. LYTE with the first set.
Yeah, I mean, Corey and Leo, just after those first two goals against them, they really just turned it up, right? They're putting a lot more damage out, weren't stacking, getting double, like, they were getting hit by so many abilities in that early on that first set that they just realized they need to spread out a little bit, play for themselves, let Dubu do Dubu, right? Don't help him defend, let him do his job, and they're going to get rewarded for it. Doesn't take the prime time here, actually. I'm surprised. I was expecting the prime time out of the Estelle, but takes the heavy impact. Another great training as well. And prime time on the Amy. Dubu, not sure what he's going to be taking here. Other still not sure as well. Big fish on the Zentaro. Definitely a very good training. Helps give your ult size and your character size. Rapid fire in Zentaro. Tempo swing being taken away from Elo Heaven by the Dubu. So that Elo Heaven, the Asher, is left with the reverberation. One of the newer trainings. Going to give him a little bit of cooldown and stagger for his troubles.
Yeah, still going to be something that Asher's looking for. You do want to build up that stagger. Would probably rather have the tempo swing, so a good steal away from You Already Lose as they're going to knock things out on this bottom side here. Leo just barely able to sneak away from it, going once again into that Oni's Blade, and has been doing great at being able to expose the goal barriers this way. Knocked back up by the glitch pop streak. Got a lot more tools to work with thanks to that prime time, but the goal's going to get opened up regardless. Leo going to pick up a KO and going to look for the goal while he's at it. You Already Lose coming up to midfield. Going to lose a goal barrier for it. Make that two as Into Overflow capitalizes on the opportunity and takes the whole goal.
Yeah, the Dubu, you know, walked a little bit too far up there, got caught out. Into Overflow playing extremely well, positioning well as well to get both those goal barriers off the straight hits with the perfect, the still primary to actually finish the goal at the end. Not really much he could do, the Dubu, after he missed position there. Definitely a really, really good play from Into Overflow to keep them in the game after that first early KO.
Yeah, trying to find their regular season form again. They did 2-0 LYTE during the regular season, so definitely going to be looking to show something similar here. They do manage to open up the goal, though, for LYTE once again. Still keeping one of those goal barriers up. Corey gets it up onto the top side, trying to pass it down to Leo, who is just waiting on cooldowns for now. Gets a lot of damage on Into Overflow. They could take him out right here, but they don't want to leave that core unattended to. Leo going for the core flip, going to get struck back by Streak, who is going to be able to keep the defense up, but that's KO earned for the side of LYTE. They can be aggressive here. They can look to get the score once again. Elo Heaven knocked very low. Corey, though, just barely stays alive, and now it's going to be Streak with a double KO. Takes both forwards out and buys some time for Into Overflow, and just like that, Core are the team with the advantage.
Yeah, and on this power play, you know, it's not for too long here as both forwards, from LYTE are back up, but just really, really great play from Streak to stop that core flip from Leo and also find the KO on him as well. You know, Leo's been playing great all set and just won that one little slip-up Streak. Great player, just takes advantage of it. And Leo and Corey kind of posturing here to try to get this goal, hitting it top side, using all their abilities, but Streak is just stopping everything.
Ooh. Off the center there, another KO earned for the side of court, and they're going to be able to take this forward for just a little bit longer. Still haven't been able to get past this last barrier, though. You Already Lose. He's a big boy, and he can do a lot to defend. He's going to be able to throw out that core flip. Leo Leon going to pick up a KO for himself, and now the numbers advantage back over to LYTE. You Already Lose finally going to let one through onto that barrier, but he's still got some more room to play with. Leo goes into the Omni Slash, now trying to get forward, can't quite knock it in. Now back over to him, core flip from Streak, Tofu Fortress ends, and Into Overflow sneaks it into the bottom corner.
And the patience from Int Overflow to get that last barrier with the Estelle primary as well. And to also just core flip, wait for that Dubu to roll. He's got to react to something, right? Thinking he's going to go top side, but nope, waits. That patience gets the bottom side. Perfect shot. And I mean, just really, really great defensive play and offensive play all around. I think LYTE's actually out-pressuring them a little bit this set, but great barrier take from Leo Leon. And then Elo with a double barrier take just completely uses all his cooldowns to match the Already Loses cooldowns. And just absolutely outplays them.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, Elo Heaven, explosive in this first game, has been able to find themselves a lot. Int Overflow nearly snipe getting in there, but will get blocked by You Already Lose. Passed back up, 2 forwards on the top side now. Streak passes it back up to Int, does manage to sneak it past Leo. Now it's in Elo Heaven's hands, but he gets taken out by the Tofu Fortress. And now with an opportunity here, LYTE going to try to take it back on towards the other side. Corey taking a fair bit of damage from Int. You Already Lose doesn't want to make the same mistake as last time, stepping up, but maybe a little bit more cautious, staying with inside that goal barrier. Respawn comes through, and there's going to be Int Overflow sneaking it in once again. A 3-0 set for Core Overflow.
Int Overflow just absolutely carrying that set, and not to, you know, slight Streak or Elo Heaven. Elo Heaven taking a lot of pressure that set. Pretty hard to play as the Asher when you're getting hit by so many things, but Streak holding it down as well, not letting, you know, lost a couple goal barriers, but not getting scored on a single time that set, and he's going to be rewarded with it with, I'm actually not sure what he's going to take here. Probably built different away from, built different away from the Zentaro. Do not want him to have double size training. Zentaro taking that Twin Drive does have, I believe, the Super Surge. I'm not too sure what the starting awakenings were. Twin Drive going to be going on everybody, and Glass Cannon on Int Overflow here. Asher probably going to be taking Monumentalist. I'm surprised by that. Monumentalist, actually, we're in for a treat because the size increase on Asher forward, his ult, is ridiculous. We call it the airplane in right now, sir. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to be seeing takeoff here in a couple seconds right here soon. Oh, doesn't need it. Just absolutely going to take both.
There it is. That's a big one, as Elo Heaven nearly gets the score off that alone. The Crystal Thorns nearly knocking it in there for Int Overflow, and all 3 members have to play defense alongside the Dubu to make sure that they aren't going to end up giving up that goal, but now a little bit of a return opportunity here for Leo Leon. Roll forward onto Elo Heaven, knockout onto Elo Heaven. Int Overflow now has their work cut out for him, can't quite take it, and now Leo ready to play this one-on-one up against Streak, gets knocked down towards the bottom side. Corey has to be careful not to get KO'd. Sentry doing a lot of work there for Streak, and Int still keeping it forward with the Rose Warp. Elo Heaven back on the map now, ready to play aggressive once again. Leo stepping up though, knocks him to about half, goes in for the Lie Rush, can't find it on the goal barrier, passed up through the center, core flip back over from You Already Lose, and it's going to be all up to Leo now to find their opportunity with the Oni's Blade, knocked off the center, not quite finding its way out of the goal barrier. Tofu Fortress stuffs the core flip once again, nicely played by You Already Lose, and will buy them a little bit more time.
Yeah, You Already Lose just iron wall right now on that Dubu Tofu wall as Leo gets the last barrier. And, really good attempt there from the Estelle, from the Overflow, using all his abilities. Now Corey and Leo on the attack. They could have a score here. They could finally get a goal. Bottom corner, perfect pass. Great shot there from Leo. And, I mean, just what we're looking for, right? You Already Lose finally, you know, in his form. He's looking like he's in his stride right now, blocking and just stopping every single goal attempt. Int Overflow not able to find anything from that Estelle. And just really, really good play all around from LYTE.
Like what we've been seeing from them so far, making it pretty close up against our first seed team here in the Eastern Conference. Elo Heaven now still looking to find more of those miracle plays on the Asher, but going to get knocked around by that Tofu Fortress and chunked very low here. Leo Leon smells blood in the water, tries to go in for the KO. Meanwhile, Corey is moving forward to take down some of these goal barriers, does get one, and now going to look for a second. There's going to be the KO earned for Leo. Numbers advantage passed up to him. Streak going on the offensive just to try to buy some additional time. But now Corey here with the Rose Warp passes it up to Leo. The core flip doesn't quite land. Leo's going to want that one back as it's going to buy some more time for Elo Heaven to get back here onto the map, but Leo not dissuaded, still playing aggressive. Another KO earned, this one for You Already Lose. Leo ready to receive, going in onto Streak, who is going to have to go evasive, knocks it back over to the other side, but at risk of getting KO'd in their own goal arc here. Now they're on the bottom, nowhere for Leo to go, caught between a rock and a hard place, but does finally manage to open up the goal. Now still passed on over here for Overflow. They are still managing to keep themselves in this with their goal open. But now Corey coming in from the top side. Leo on the bottom. A nice evasive there from Elo, going to knock things back over and open up the goal for the other team. Corey knocking it back down. It's going to be an elusive from Leo, looking to find his way into the goal. You Already Lose, knocks out the rollout, trying to keep Elo Heaven at bay, but so far has not been able to take him out of the map. There's going to be Leo finding that combo once again, taking him out with the Lie Rush, and there's Corey with the goal.
And I mean, our narrative going into this was that Core Overflow just really, really good with that KO pressure and able to get a lot of those, KOs, get a lot of those power plays to find the goals. But I think what's happening here is LYTE is really showing them up here. Corey is playing incredibly well whenever, he's looking for KOs. He's getting a lot of damage up. So with the Zentaro, getting all the damage too. And another KO from Corey there, right there, as we're seeing. Zentaro and Estelle, really powerful combo. Hard to match the damage of it. And I think Elo Heaven and Into Overflow are kind of noticing that right now.
Yeah, for sure here, and really showing up in form here is LYTE on playoffs day. This is when you want to peak, and they're peaking at just the right moment. You already lose. Playing great defense so far, especially when he's left with just one of these goal barriers. He's been able to get so much done. And on the verge of a 2-0 lead here is Core Overflow, or is LYTE rather, as they are making so much happen. Going to be opening things up for Core Overflow, but the numbers advantage so far has not manifested in anything. But there's going to be another one coming on through, and Leo Leon ready to receive on the bottom side. Elo Heaven chunked out low. You already lose. Back on the map. Goalie available once again. Streak playing up at midfield. Elo Heaven trying to knock it in, but just gets staggered for his troubles. Will sneak it in there, though, and buys more time for Core Overflow.
And even though they're getting pressured over and over again, they find the KO. Elo Heaven finds the KO on You Already Lose, getting him really, really low early. And then I believe actually it was the conveyor belt from Amy that ended up killing him. But just able to sneak in so many shots that you feel like shouldn't happen. And he's just converting on so many times that he gets the core. Whereas LYTE, it feels like they're working a little bit extra hard to get these goals. And I'm not too sure if that's a goalie thing or if that's just Elo Heaven popping the F off.
Yeah, I mean, Elo Heaven definitely found some crazy plays so far, but it hasn't been enough to take them the whole set. I mean, now going to be opening things up once again, though. Elo Heaven going to make me eat my words here as he gets knocked up towards him, gets another one off the center, and it's 2-2 in the set, Borg.
Just like I said, I mean, every time he gets the ball, it feels like he's getting something, right? It feels like the Asher forward, everyone thinks, oh, it got nerfed, it's not as strong. It's definitely not as strong, but Elo Heaven's making it look like pre-Asher right now. Pre-nerf Asher with how many KOs, and there we go. He's getting a lot of damage, a lot of pressure with that ult. He's just crowding so much space and getting so many barriers for his troubles.
Yeah, no, definitely showing why this has been a big pick for him throughout the entire season, getting so much done here. Hasn't played it in the last couple of weeks, but showing up huge now in this first match of playoffs. Corey now going to be knocking lots of damage there onto Elo Heaven, and Leo Leon just sticking right on top of him, looking to finish off the job. Into Overflow, though, with a goal opportunity, does get deflected away by You Already Lose, but it's such a risky place to be in. They're going to stuff that core flip and open up that goal. Great play by Leo, but still got to be keeping their wits about them as Into Overflow and Elo Heaven, they can score in just a second here. Inch stepping forward, Corey going to be able to deflect it back away. Leo ready to receive up on the top side, knocks it back away, goes in for the core flip, and knocks it to himself. That's a 3-2 set, picked up for LYTE.
That was one of the most beautiful core flips I've ever seen on a Zentaro. We see a lot of, sometimes you see Julie flip and then punch, right? Sometimes you'll see Estelle flip and then use that primary as well. And it basically what it does is it hit stuns and then it also, will hit the core in. We just saw a from midfield core flip into a Zentaro secondary to keep him on it, into a redirect into the goal to get it past everybody. That was beautiful. Clip that, chat. That is going on the highlight reels. As we get into draft here, we'll talk real quick into it. Extra special on the Amy. That's going to be absolutely critical. We might see that coming into play here with those Amy ults all the time. We'll see Catalyst, lots of energy going on as Zentaro. Ref definitely an amazing training on him. Aerials for Estelle, peak performance on the Asher, stacks on the Dubu, and then I believe that was aerials again on the other Estelle. So we're going to see a lot of Amy ults. We're going to see a lot of core flips from Leo Leon. Definitely a pretty good draft from both sides.
For sure here. And Corey immediately just taking the brunt of that sentry turret, gets knocked into the stagger, but will be all right for the time being. Does get back up. And now going to be Leo stepping up into the enemy goal. Wants to be in this arc as long as they can and is going to be able to knock down one of the barriers. Elo Heaven now ready to receive once again, stepping forward, knocked around by Corey though, and chunked to just a tiny bit of stagger. Will be able to open up the goal for their trouble, and now here comes Int stepping up with that piercing shot. Elo Heaven, they're focusing everything they can onto him. Rush forward, can't quite find it. You Already Lose, knocking it back towards the bottom, but going into the stagger themselves. Both forwards now staggered though, an attempt to take him out with the core flip, and can't quite be found there for Leo. Now Into Overflow, left alone, gets knocked back away by the crystals, but there's the KO on the goalie, and there's a goal earned for Core Overflow.
Yeah, that was definitely really good on Elo Heaven. Just kind of waited for the core, played patient, relied on his goalie to get it to him. But one thing that actually happened there was really funny is they changed a Zentaro that when you ult someone who is staggered, they cannot evade it. However, they didn't really talk about this, but if someone else or the core is in the same ult as a staggered target, the staggered target can evade. It's a really weird mechanic, but that's basically what happened. As Corey's just getting absolutely bullied right now and streak flip into overflow primary to get both the barriers as Leo now has possession and needs to hold it, but
there's no goalie.
No goalie. Yep, basically, I mean, Elo Heaven into overflow just dumped so much pressure into You Already Lose there as I was talking about the play on the other side. And, I mean, the Dubu just couldn't live.
No, just nowhere to go there. You Already Lose. Too much pressure on top of them. Leo Leon with a little bit of a moment there to try to play up one-on-one, but once Streak clears out, it's all over. But Leo finding himself a sneaky KO there with the rush once again. Gonna get knocked up. Elo Heaven ready to receive, but still down on numbers. Leo stepping up, has so much range on that now with the awakenings they've picked up. Opens the goal up pretty much single-handedly, but now Corey has to go evasive for just a second to be able to keep themselves safe. But now one-on-one with Asher. Elo Heaven going to look to take Corey off the map. Now knocking it back up into overflow, keeps the pressure on, going in for the Rose Warp, opens up the goal. Elo Heaven nearly with a chance to score. Streak clearing it back out. Core overflow, they want to take this all the way to a set number 5, and they're on the verge of being able to do it. Elo Heaven punching through, folks, but will be able to get the KO and will open things back up for LYTE to try to strike back. Leo keeping the pressure on, moving forward towards Streak. Corey passes it forward, going to be knocked on down, passed in once again by Corey. Can't find the piercing shot. Leo stepping up onto Streak, but now cleared back over. You Already Lose, has to play defense once again. There's going to be the sentry turret nearly sneaking it in, but Corey ready to receive. All 3 members in the goal arc do manage to clear it back out off the center into overflow, passes it to Elo. Can't get it in though. Great defense by You Already Lose as he keeps this set going. Leo now gonna pass it down to Corey, goes on in, blocked away by Streak, but sneaks it in the top corner and LYTE keep the set going.
Dubu MVP. There were so many incredible saves that round alone. Like, just absolutely keeping them in the game. They had no business winning that point quarter. They had no business keeping in this set, but now as they do, you know, Leo, Leon, and Corey finish the job, get the quick goal, and realizing we're not losing this set. We're going to end this game now.
Yeah, now doing so much work here, and they have a chance to take this set all the way back around. You Already Lose, going to lose a goal barrier, one-on-one now. Elo Heaven taking a bunch of damage. Leo has a chance to close this out, but goal is going to be open for it. There's the core flip from Streak. Gets blocked by You Already Lose, buying some time. Leo gets the KO. Numbers advantage for LYTE. They have a chance to close it. There's going to be passed back up to Corey. Down over to Leo. Streak clears it out. You Already Lose, ready to receive. Can buy some time. Corey with the Rose Warp over the sentry turret. Can clear it back out. There's into the Oni slash. There's going to be a chance for Leo to score, but pinned up against the top. Will sneak out. Will even get a KO for it, and there's another goal for LYTE.
And Leo Leon backed against all odds, like you said, a rock in a hard place. That Asher wall keeping him in the corner, finds the timing to get his Zentaro secondary off, basically hitting all 3 members and killing Streak in the process. And Corey just walks up, finds the pass, and they just get a quick little play, and now it's 2-2. It's match point right now.
It could very well be the end of everything for LYTE. They could go up 1-0 in the series. Remember, we're on best of 3s now. No more best of 2s for the regular season. We're going to end this night with a winner one way or the other. Someone's going to be taking a trip out of the losers bracket, and LYTE is looking to make it core overflow. Elo Heaven chunked very low. Corey going to be trying to knock him back into the goal. Can't quite get it, but there's going to be the sentry turret thrown up by Streak. Leo gets another KO on the bottom. That's an 8 times KO streak for this Zentaro. And now looking to finish it off. There's going to be the knock in towards You Already Lose. Passed in towards this last barrier. They open the goal up. Just 1 step left to do it, and they will be able to complete this upset for game number 1. Pass down to Corey. Core flip blocked by Elo Heaven. Pinned in towards the bottom side. Knocked back up by Corey on the Rose Warp. Leo looking for an angle to knock it in. Elo Heaven gets control, opens up the goal for his own team. Now looking to try to take this all the way to number 5. Elo Heaven stepping up into overflow. Not going to be able to get it in the face of the Oni. And there's going to be Leo taking the score and taking a 1-0 game lead in the series.
Absolutely beautiful play from Leo this game. I mean, I think he's definitely my MVP for this first game, and really just shocking everyone and showing the power of Zentaro. Not many players in the NASL season have really been able to show what Zentaro can do. right? Pretty much a very slept-on character, only really being seen more recently in solo queue and other things. I mean, look at the stats, just insane damage and 10 KOs with 6 goals. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance, and that's not to slight You Already Lose or Corey, just both holding it down, and Corey helping with a lot of that midfield presence, a lot of that damage, you know, as he gets almost 29,000 himself. And man, I mean, I didn't expect that out of the first game there. 3-1 out of LYTE.
Yeah, I mean, we said we wanted a 3-game series, but I don't know if we were really expecting a 3-game series. But LYTE, with a huge game number 1, they're the leaders now, and they take one more. They're moving on in the winners bracket. They're going to winners finals. They're knocking Core Overflow to losers bracket. They're really on the verge of something spectacular here.
Yeah, and I believe, you know, best of 3, so it's not the end of Core Overflow here. You know, they could definitely rally back. I do think a big problem for them here, you know, we saw Elo Heaven popping off, but I'm not too sure if Asher was the right pick, you know. I think it's definitely a little bit weak on Atlas Lab because of how volatile the map is, because of how much damage can come through. And as we saw there, I mean, he died plenty of times with the Estelle and the Zentaro just hitting them, even with a really defensive goalie, right? And so one thing I'm definitely looking for them to adjust next game, depending on the map, obviously, you know, the Asher can definitely work on maps like Night Market, maybe, you know, Ogden City, other maps where you're not really going to get punished as much. But on this map or on Demon Days or one of those really aggressive maps, maybe Amy's app, it's a lot harder to play that Asher, especially after it's been nerfed. And I think Elo Heaven probably can just play any pick he wants right now, right? So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing their adjustments here going into game 2.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could see a lot of different characters out of Hilo Evan. We could see a lot of different characters out of Streak as well. So these guys have got some deep pools, even into Overflow. I mean, like we said, that was going to be they've played a lot of Drakkar, a lot of X, a lot of Julie, have shown us a lot of different picks throughout the course of the season. So gonna be a lot of different stuff that we could expect to see out of Core Overflow. LYTE historically have not played as much different stuff, but I mean, Leo just busted out the Zentaro. As you were saying, you guys have been talking about it. He's been cooking that one for a little bit, just busted it out in NASL for the first time tonight. Maybe see some more stuff like that out of LYTE as well.
Yeah, he's definitely been cooking up the Zentaro. You know, not gonna leak my DMs with him, but let's just say that he's definitely been listening. He's
Let's
been
do it. Post
practicing
them.
it. He's been I'm really, really impressed with his play there. So definitely a great game out of him. And I think that I don't know. They might ban it next game. I mean, he's looking really good on the pick right now. He might be one of the best, if not the best, Zentaro in the world. You know, because I don't think I am, because I haven't even been able to play it. It's just banned against me every single game. So
All right, all right.
definitely,
Oh.
it's definitely not me. So I think
Well,
Leo Leon's going to be showing me up here
I
and
mean,
just
he's the one who
absolutely
drew the
destroying
ban
Overflow.
in game 1, though, right? I mean, it was the X ban,
Yeah.
certainly targeted towards Leo in game number 1. So that's going to open up some possibility here for a little something different.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised with the X-Band. You know, on Atlas Lab, I don't really think X is the strongest character right now in general. And Leo, definitely insane at the character. Probably the best X, you know, in the world. But it's X on, you know, this current patch. And
X in
as, you
2023.
know, oh yeah, as we see Vaughn type in the chat right now, X on June 26, 2023, 9 EST. Why are we banning X? So they probably had something in mind, not to flame them, but I don't really, not really agree with that pick, or not really agree with that ban, excuse me. So I definitely look forward to them. Probably going to be banning a different pick this time. They're probably going to be picking something different this time, and I expect the draft to be way different. As we're still waiting to get on this next game, guys. We're ranting a little bit here, but
Yeah, no, it's all right. We have some time to rant. I mean, there's a big
that's
upset in
true.
game number 1. We have way more to talk about than we expected. I mean, we got 4 whole sets in there. And yeah, curious to see how things change up. I mean, You Already Lose on the Dubu. Looked pretty good in that first round. I mean, has some IME that they're willing to bust out as well. Have shown us quite a few different goalies. I mean, you talked about both of these goalies traditionally have been big IME players. That IME's nerfed on this patch. I'm going to be honest, Borg. I've not played as much on this patch as I probably should have. How do you still feel about that IME? Do you think it's still pickable, or do you think it's like maybe just shouldn't even be considered now?
It's definitely still very good. It's
Okay.
not quite the same, you know, with those glitch pop nerfs, with the range nerf, and then also with the damage and the knockback nerf. Definitely not, you know, the craziest character in the game anymore. I still think probably A tier, if not still maybe S tier. I mean, probably A tier right now. Definitely still a really strong goalie. We're showing, you know, as we're seeing actually in the OSPL, pretty strong forward as well too. You know, not quite levels of Drakkar or levels like that, but definitely a really strong forward as well. So I think it's definitely still pickable. And I
Okay.
think one thing that we can kind of look for with this patch is the energy trainings, right? Now that
True.
just come out, a lot of characters that have multi-hit abilities to abuse Catalyst, like we saw the Zentara with that game. He had so many flips that game. I wish we had a counter on that. We'll probably get the stats team on that, but he was getting flips literally like 2 times, 3 times around with that Catalyst. And the rounds weren't going all that long most of the time too. Some of the rounds were taking a bit of time, but most of them were pretty quick, right? At least with the barriers, and he was getting them pretty quick. As I believe we hopefully we'll be getting into the game here soon. I don't know if I think one of the players is taking a little bathroom break, but hopefully no loading bug, as we're still going to be waiting for the game. So we have a little bit more time to rant, Gordo.
Yeah, we got memed on a little bit. It looked like it was
A little
loading in. It
bit.
didn't quite happen, so we'll get there. We'll find our way into the game one way or the other. But yeah, those energy trainings, I mean, they really change things up. And also what gets rotated out feels like it kind of de facto nerfs a couple characters, right? Like no more Stinger, no more Adrenaline Rush. Some of those rotate outs, you know, Adrenaline Rush especially feels like the absence of it is certainly felt by a fair bit of the brawlers of the roster.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Stinger and the Adrenaline Rush removed is that it doesn't feel like kill comps are overpowered anymore, right? What happened is you'd run a kill comp, you'd get infinite Stinger and then win the game, right?
You get 12
But
KOs a
then,
game as core
yeah, you get 12
overflow,
kills
you'd
a
win the
game.
regular season.
Exactly, yeah. So all the really, really good kill comps and a lot of those teams that kind of really love Stinger, really love the Adrenaline Rush, you know, Prodigies is one of the big ones that wasn't quite able to qualify with that 5th place, you know. They kind of use those trainings to really leverage themselves against a lot of the players that some people would say were better than them, or some people would say were, you know, should be higher placed than them. So just people able to, you know, find that early meta read is a big thing. And I think LYTE, you know, taking these energy trainings that game, like we saw with the Catalyst, able to find this early meta read. I mean, I say early meta, it's been, you know, a little bit of time since the patch has been out. So we've had a lot of time to practice on it. But I think the energy trainings and then the removal of Stagger, Swagger, and Unstoppable as well, not able to really, you know, basically save you anymore. Just getting a lucky Unstoppable roll or a lucky Stagger, Swagger roll, which is the more, you know, broken one, I think I'd say.
Mm.
But yeah, I think the energy training is definitely something to look out for in this game, as I've been saying. And the removal of Stinger Adrenaline Rush, kind of answer your question originally, not the biggest of deals. I think kill comps are definitely still very, very good. They're just not insta broken, insta win, if you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
the rewards for getting KOs are kind of self-evident, right? You don't need
Yeah.
the you don't need the extra benefits, and you still have. There's still some of the gear gives you I don't remember what it's called, but the one that gives you some movement speed when you get the KO, when you get the striker
Pummelers.
advantage. Yeah,
Pummelers. Yeah.
pummelers. Yeah, so there's still some stuff if you're looking for it, but yeah, not quite as many tools in the awakening department as we are having some queuing bugs. I see that we're ready to queue again. We're going to be trying to get into game number 2 here before too long. We did not mean to show you guys our faces for this long, but we'll get through it together.
Yeah. Smile for the camera. That's all we can do. And all we can do is hope. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, we might be getting into the game here, guys.
I see a loading screen. All
And
right, we're on
in.
night market. I can tell
We're
you
on
that
night
much.
market. Let's go. Woo! We're finally in on night market. And this map definitely going to be probably seeing a Juliet ban or a pick from both, if not, you know, either, if not both sides. So we're going to be seeing, yep, Drakkar ban, and I expect, honestly, we might see a Zentara ban, or not a Zentara ban, sorry, an X ban again, because X definitely really good on this map as well. A Dubu ban. Okay, I actually really like that, because Dubu, one of the strengths of this new Dubu build with that movement speeding, running up and using that wall offensively, on this map specifically and on Amy's app, just sectioning off a complete side of the map, right? Because you can't hit it through the middle with, you know, with the Dubu wall there. And as he picks up the Kai, actually, so he's going to be playing the Kai. You already lose, definitely not bad on the Kai as well. Definitely can play a lot of picks here. And Corey on the arrow, one of his patented picks. And we're going to be seeing the Zentara here as well, even though Julie is open. So, oh, and the X! Okay, Int Overflow on the X, I'm assuming here. And Elo Heaven going to be on the Estelle. And I think this is the Asher goalie.
Yeah, for real. I think.
Yep.
It's Asher goalie time, baby. The X does end up coming through. Leo going to be running it back here on the Zentaro. I don't trust that that's going to be Juliet. It's not. I've learned my lesson from last time. It is going to be Corey here on the Era. So gonna be a fun match here for game number 2. Oh, it looks like the quick strike. Maybe that's the reason for the X pick.
So Quick Strike, and with the buff fan braces, it's now 40% instead of 30% healing. He's definitely going to be healing a ton. Easy time to survive. And one thing I want to touch on real quick before hopefully they don't get too many things here as I'm saying it. Asher Goalie is a really big counter pick to Juliet. And so I believe that's why they picked the Zentaro, thinking it was going to be Asher Goalie, because Zentaro can actually, you know, do things against that Asher Goalie, whereas Juliet just gets completely stunned.
An interesting pick there for sure. We'll see if that ends up paying out for him. Leo stepping up here. Int going to get knocked away by that magical Maelstrom. Here's going to be Elo Heaven clearing things up on the top side. You already lose. Knocking it back over into Overflow. Taken very low here on the X. Going to have to play a little more passive with it for the time being. There's going to be Corey ready to shrink more folks down. The shrunken down X, definitely not where you want to be. That Bewitching Beam does a lot of work into that character. And there's going to be one of the goal barriers opened up. Passed back up. There's the Oni's Blade. Leo Leon can't quite knock it in yet. Is going to have their own goal opened up into Overflow. Taken into the stagger once again. Corey coming towards the bottom side. Wants to open things up, trying to play it a little more slow and steady into Overflow. Just beaten on You Already Lose, but does have that extra stagger to work with and is going to be able to keep himself safe, at least for now, this early in the game.
Yeah, stagger bar looking a little bit low, but X's is looking even lower as he gets shrunk and not able to die quite yet. The Kai Barrage just not quite killing him with that dash. And Leo Leon, eyes on him here. As I say that, Elo Heaven with the play on Estelle. He's showing that Int Overflow can do it, Elo Heaven can do it. They're veterans of the game, and Estelle, one of the most veteran characters of the scene. Really just putting in the work regardless, and Leo Leon just couldn't find a way to get into the play there with his core flip, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, was tough for Leo to make anything happen, so it's going to be the first point going over to Core Overflow, and tons of damage already coming through onto Elo Heaven, so an immediate attempt to strike back here from LYTE. See if they're going to be able to close out onto anything. There's going to be You Already Lose going in for the core flip. Core flip also from Leo, and they do successfully take out one goal barrier for their troubles. Going to be Magical Maelstrom coming on across. Doesn't land onto anybody, but Leo buying a little bit of space. Elo sniping onto him on the other side, and Elo going to take a punishment for it. Gets hit by the Bewitching Beam, gets hit by a little bit of extra from Corey, and now going to have to play a little bit of distance away. You Already Lose, still keeping things cleared out, using that range. Leo nearly avoids going down, but does manage to rush his way out. And now getting beaten on by Int Overflow. Going to have to try to buy some space. Going to have to go elusive. Int Overflow looking to take him out and might just find it here. He gets him with the Bull Rush. And there's going to be a numbers advantage going over to Core Overflow.
Yeah, and Corey, as you say that, you know, evening it up with that really well-timed core flip to get the core out of the way and to kill Int Overflow as well on that X. And they're going to be having a quick little power play here. Maybe they can get it. Nah, Streak with that strike shot. Just get out of here. Clears it away. And You Already Lose, clearing it as well. Both top barriers are open, so this is still a really even game. Really long set here, or excuse me, really long first round here, as just both teams not quite able to get it past the goalies. And as I say that, Elo Heaven with a great shot to get that top barrier. Interflow and Elo Heaven looking incredibly low here, as they might try to get a goal before they die.
Ooh, but a nice KO earned off the core flip and clearing it out as well, but You Already Lose. He can't get to it in time, and that's going to be a 2-0 lead in the set for Core Overflow.
Yeah, so You Already Lose actually just, I think he used that barrage to try to kill Elo Heaven after he already died, just casting it just as he was dying as well. So just a little bit of an unlucky read there and did not have an ability to save that well-timed and well-angled shot from Int Overflow.
Definitely not, and now going to be set point here. Already earned for Core Overflow, although already opened up. Leo Leon nearly scores there. Streak just barely managing to save it. But now going to be passed back up on the top side. Leo Leon ready to receive, goes for the core flip. Going to get blocked away by Elo Heaven. Good timing there, but Corey's got the movement speed with that Flutterfly. Will be able to push back over towards Leo. Gets the boost onto him. Looking for it, knocks it back up. Pass to himself, passed up once again. Going in for the primary, can't knock it in. And now Int Overflow stepping up, looking for his own chance. But with that open goal, Leo nearly scores it on his own. Corey ready to pass it back up. Knocks it up towards the center, and just right on the top center, that Asher not mobile enough to get to it.
So I believe the Asher actually would have reached it on time with the core flip, was almost in range, but a really beautiful Zentaro primary to keep Asher away, actually, just by hit stunning her and not able to core flip there to save it. Just says, screw it, not going to try to waste it just in case I don't reach it. Lets the goal in. They're up 2-1 anyway, and we'll see if they can close out the set.
Yeah, there's a really good chance here for them to close things out. Into Overflow, taken to about half. Leo going to push things up towards the top. Knocking it down, going in for the Oni's Blade. Can't quite knock it into that bottom barrier, but as I say that, he does get it in and does chunk 2 people out. It's a pretty low HP while he's at it, but it's a goal opened up by Int Overflow on the other side, and the barrier doing quite a bit there. That path splitter buying a lot of space, but still can be opened up by Corey. Knocked back up by You Already Lose, but it gets sniped in by that piercing shot.
Yeah, really good reaction save there from You Already Lose to hit it into that top side, but the problem was that none of his teammates were there, right? And Estelle with all the abilities up and the X just barreling down on him. Not really anything a Kai can do in that case with low on stagger bar and no abilities up. And a really good try, but just not quite it. As we get into draft here, lots of really interesting things here. Chrono, Castellass, Big Fish, lots of big things going on. I expect the hot shot to Kai. The Asher, I believe, is just waiting. Castellass actually going on to Era, so that's going to be huge. And Chrono going on to the X with Quick Strikes is going to definitely pack a punch with that longer ult, longer dash, and abusing Quick Strikes a bit. Deadeye on Estelle, another classic. And Ponder actually goes on to Zentaro. Not really much else he could have taken. Missile Prop and Monumentalist, not really the best or the most useful on Zentaro, but Ponder, at least he's going to have something.
Yeah, at least gets himself, a little bit of CDR here or there, wherever he can find it, as we're checking out the trainings for a little bit, but there's going to be Int Overflow once again, just a beating on folks. X Maximus gets a lot of work done there to chunk out You Already Lose and take a goal barrier, but now back on the other side, LYTE, looking to take themselves a bit of an angle themselves, does open up one of the barriers, but it will get pushed through the center, it will get boosted on through. Nice clear off the barrage. And Corey, ready to receive, throwing out the Magical Maelstrom, buys a lot of space and opens up a chance for Leo to open up the goal, looking to take it all the way. Can't quite find it, but Core Flip going to be available for Streak. Core Flip back from Leo, and he knocks it in.
Yeah, really unfortunate core flip angle there from Streak. Hits the middle barrier on the opposite side, bounces it right back towards his own net. He can only go up to save it, and caught in between a rock and a hard place. Or excuse me, I mean, really just not a rock and a hard place. One singular core flip, and Leo able to put it away past Streak.
Definitely is. Leo goes into the Oni's Blade. Ooh, there's a KO off the Maelstrom. Corey just catches somebody unawares and is going to be able to take one off the map. Now, Int Overflow flipping it back over. Nice block by You Already Lose. Going to take full advantage of this opportunity. They do take down one of the barriers. Ooh, just barely saving his own life is Leo with the elusive, nearly taken out, and now going to be knocking away Elo Heaven and Int Overflow. He gets taken out, though, on the bottom side. A numbers advantage to Core Overflow. Streak receiving up on the top side, knocks it over to Elo Heaven. Core flip from Corey. You Already Lose, fires out that barrage, but can't actually get his way onto that barrier.
Yeah, and really good play from Corey actually to stall a bit there as Leo died, and Caleb just, excuse me, You Already Lose. I keep wanting to call him Caleb. I think everyone kind of knows him as Caleb at this point anyway, but able to survive and actually kill the X. So now in a power play of LYTE. See if Leo can put it away here with the passive, with that, and ooh, that was insane actually. So Corey, and I believe, I don't really even know what that was. I think that was the passive from Leo, and then the strike shot from Asher actually misangling into that top side of the goal.
Tough break there for Streak. Going to end up giving over a second goal, and LYTE looking to come alive in this game number 2. Showing it wasn't a fluke in game number 1. They have a chance to take themselves a set here. Knocking it up. Leo going to take out one barrier. Going into the Oni Slash. Now finds the second one. He's got the core flip as well. Couldn't quite snag it, but was going for a huge play there to close out the set. Still not over yet, though. Elo Heaven going to open up one barrier, going to go for the core flip, open up the second one, but a counter flip from You Already Lose, going to clear things back out. Leo now with control, but it gets knocked over. Int Overflow wants to finish it off with the bell ringer, but now he's cut off from the rest of his team, and Corey finds the 3-0 sweep on set number 2.
Wow. I mean, that was, I don't really want to call that set a stomp, but it feels like they were able to answer Core Overflow's issues they were throwing at them, right? Core Overflow was really just putting so much pressure on the goalie with that X, able to get so many barriers from that X Maximus, but just You Already Lose, able to find so many times of just evading and finding those Giga Blasts and getting the X off of him. Oh wow, okay, so we actually see built different from the Zentaro here. I don't really think he needs a Super Surge. Everyone thinks, Super Surge best training on Zentaro, which I pretty much agree, but built different on this closed more map. You don't really need the dash range on this map as much, and built different, keeping it away from the Asher as well. Super Surge going on to Corey for that longer speed boost. Bulk up on the Kai, specialized training onto Asher, the aerials onto Estelle, and stacks for Int Overflow.
Definitely getting a lot of value there, and I like to see the build different just to try to get that little bit of extra value out of your strikes and out of your size for Leo. Going to see what he can get done as Elo Heaven taking control with the Rose Warp. Int Overflow going for the Bell Ringer, looking to find his way into that goal barrier, but can't get it. Instead, it's going to be one earned here for the side of Core Overflow, and now Corey knocking things back down towards the center. Elo Heaven clearing it back out. You already lose. Trying to play defense, and so far has done so successfully. Moving it down towards the bottom. Good control. Leo trying to keep Corey safe. Goes on in, tries to take out this X. Into Overflow, knocked towards the bottom side. Could get taken out. Has to go elusive. Leo now one-on-one up against Streak. What can he get done? There's going to be the barrier beam to try to clear it back out. Leo knocking it back and forth, trying to play a little bit of interference. There's going to be Into Overflow, finding the KO on the top side, but going to be Leo taking one right back. Goal opened up for both teams off a round-the-world shot, as now Leo looking to finish things off, stepping up into Streak's face. Corey respawns. Really brief numbers advantage here. What can they get done? Corey knocks it on over. Can't quite find his target, though. Blocked away by Streak with the path splitter, and Leo just can't find his target. Does have the core flip, though. Goes on in. Can't quite get it. Knocked away by Streak. Into Overflow now taking back control and looking to get a goal for himself. LYTE still playing really good defense, though. Into Overflow does finally get it through. X Maximus, a KO and a goal for one.
Yeah, great play there from Elo Heaven, actually, to keep the core forward over and over again those few times. Just after, let the Kai use all his abilities, wait for the X to have ult, comes on in, boom, punches you straight in the net with the core. Pretty good first goal. That was a very, very long set. Really good plays from both sides. And honestly, I mean, just really good play from the awareness of Elo Heaven to keep it forward there.
Definitely getting quite a bit done. And now Into Overflow with the X Maximus just beating on Leo, making sure that that big threat of the Zentaro not going to be quite as influential. He's taking damage from both brothers here as he gets knocked to barely staggered, is going to be pretty much ready to get taken out, and now just has to play a little bit more defensive, but he's not up to that task. He is going to be able to move forward and take one of those goal barriers, now looking for even more. Tons of damage coming through, but he returns it tenfold, knocking Into Overflow incredibly low. Core flip comes down from Streak. KO, though, earned for Core Overflow, and Elo Heaven now up aggressive, going to be able to get it cleared out away onto him, but now another core flip coming from Leo, but he can't follow up with the strike, and now going to be opening up one of those barriers. Leo getting chased around by Elo Heaven. Streak passes it back up to his teammates, looking to knock it in on towards this barrier. Into Overflow goes for a big bell ringer, knocks it onto two, clear back out by You Already Lose, but Streak is playing up at midfield, looking to not let this one go. You Already Lose, though, with a great defense, continues to knock it away at every opportunity. Bell ringer, though, gonna be enough for Into Overflow with the bull rush to get it through. There's the core flip, and there's another goal for Into Overflow.
Yeah, just really, really good use of the core flip. And then, like I said, last goal, Elo Heaven just playing incredible midfield here. Getting that damage and keeping them in check, finding those KOs onto Corey and onto Leo, keeping them in check with their HP bars. And really just also controlling the core at the same time, which is not an easy task, especially with the really high cooldowns on the Estelle. As we kind of get into this, Into Overflow taking a ton of damage early on, and Leo and Corey both almost have flips. Same with You Already Lose, so this is the perfect time for them to make a play here, Gordo.
Yeah, the amount of value they're getting here off of Leo's Zentaro abilities is substantial, but they've knocked him down so low now that he's going to have to stop playing up for quite a bit. Into Overflow constantly risking that KO. Corey, though, keeping it over on the other side. Into Overflow with the snipe, though, earns themselves a numbers advantage for the side of Core Overflow. He's stepping up forward. You Already Lose, trying to clear it away. Knocks it off the center, though. Corey ready to receive, ready to play assist defense, though. Does allow them to give up only one goal barrier, and now Leo back out on the map, ready to play up on the top side and try to take something on towards Streak. Elo Heaven doing a good job of keeping it even, but is going to have to go evasive to avoid that Oni's blade. Now Corey knocked on towards the bottom, and Into Overflow 3 for 3 on the set, takes a 2-1 lead over LYTE.
Yeah, really clean dribble there, hitting it off the bottom with that movement speed from the stacks, and I believe he has Van Braces, so no slick hit movement speed, but the stacks movement speed was, I mean, more than enough to get him in position to score there. And as we get into draft here, one thing I want to touch on just a little bit as X takes the prime time, we'll probably be seeing heavy impact. Oh, twin drive actually from the Zentaro. A little bit surprised on there as he leaves heavy impact for their Estelle onto Elo Heaven. Rapid fire onto Kai. I'm expecting probably a timeless, honestly, for the Asher, but he really could go anything. And we'll see what happens here. Timeless for the Era, Orb Dancer onto Asher. So just real quick before we get into game, one thing we're seeing here, the problem with the Zentaro Era comp actually, is that Era can't really finish these kills from the Zentaro damage, right? And Zentaro, if he's using all his abilities, trying to get a barrier, trying to do damage, he can't really kill people until his abilities are back up, right?
Ooh.
And as I say that, almost kills him with the tornado and his Zentaro damage, and does do it. And really just eating my words here, Era can KO too, I guess.
Yeah, he's just completely taken off the map in an instant there, and LYTE coming back alive here in set number 4. They do not want to go to this game number 3 if they can avoid it. And Leo now taking control. Corey throwing on out that magical Maelstrom. Doesn't quite find too much value out of it, but the threat is huge. There's going to be that Bewitching Beam once again, but into Overflow just beating on Corey here. Gets him with the Bell Ringer, gets him with the Bull Rush, and now forcing that Era down towards the bottom side. They're trying to finish the job. Corey has to play real safe now to avoid getting KO'd off the side, but you already lose with the defense, still able to avoid losing too much for that momentary disadvantage. Now stepping forward into Overflow, trying to get on towards this goal once again. Goes in for the Bull Rush, doesn't find his target. Corey goes evasive once again, has played so well with so little stagger for so long, but really all he can do is manage to stay alive. Finally, Leo gonna find a way to open up the goal, but into Overflow, he finally finds his man. He takes out one target, but isn't going to mean anything if Leo can score the goal. Finally gets knocked back over towards the left side, though.
Yeah, and really beautiful take there from the X on that last barrier, and a beautiful core flip, just sneaking it right past both Leo Leon and You Already Lose. Great patience on in Overflow there, and basically, as we're seeing, Rick, you know, like I said, they found that early KO onto X. I mean, almost a fluke, because X, I don't think, was expecting that tornado to really CC lock him. And we're seeing it right here with the new buffed Vicious Band Braces. They're having trouble damaging and keeping the damage and finding the KO onto into Overflow or Elo Heaven, because, I mean, Era just doesn't have that sustained damage for it.
No, it's really reliant on those bursts, or really reliant on finding a great magical Maelstrom, and so far has not found many opportunities to do that. Corey on the back foot now. Going to be Leo stepping up with the core flip. He's got to put a lot of that damage onto his back, and so far has not had the awakenings to do it. Streak clearing it back up towards the top side. Elo Heaven ready to keep the pressure on into Overflow. Up here to knock the goalie around and try to build some space. Big Bell Ringer onto 2. Wants to find it, but just can't quite nudge it in there so far, and instead going to get cleared back over towards Elo Heaven. Everybody in this tiny little corner trying to fight for control over the core. And now going to be passed on down towards Leo. He wants to take it on towards the right side, up against Streak, wants that one-on-one, goes into the Oni's Blade, goes in for the slash, goes in for the core flip, throws everything at that barrier, but just cannot get it in. And instead it's going to be Elo Heaven opening up the goal on the other side. Pass back over to Corey, and Elo Heaven sneaks it in on the corner once again.
Yeah, great play from Elo Heaven and into Overflow there. Both had flip, both using the flip. No Garfield moments here, chat. Absolutely none. Both using their energy bursts, and Streak as well, making sure that Leo cannot find any fluke plays to get those random goals. And really just so dominant in this last set.
Yeah, no, really taking back control here, our core Overflow. Scaling with game time here as they are looking to take this to a game number 3. Just one more goal. We'll be able to do it, and it's been a dominant set number 4 thus far. Leo, though, not willing to go quietly, does open up the goal once again. Now has the rush, trying to find his way in there. Can't do it, but a big advantage with the goal already opened up here for LYTE's side. Passing it back up towards the center. Leo with an opportunity to take control, goes in for the rush, gets some good damage, but is not going to be able to find the goal. Corey knocked very low, just throwing out these bewitching beams, trying to buff up Leo to be able to do the work. Stepping up, here's the goalie as well, going in for the core flip. You Already Lose, trying to play offense as well, and it works out. He finds himself a goal.
Yeah, it just goes right through Elo Heaven's primary there. Is casting primary, so doesn't have the time to strike afterwards, because the core in overtime was going so incredibly fast from that Giga and from everything else that's just been ping-ponging it back and forth. And really a great showing of that Asher goalie and how it can lock it down, but just not quite enough and able to find that goal with You Already Lose coming up, making the difference as the third forward there.
Definitely is. Corey and Leo trying to pair up once again to see if they can get themselves back into this game. There's going to be the Path Splitter doing a lot of work onto Leo, though. He is taking everything right now, getting beaten on by the X-Maximus, and going to get pushed away into Overflow now with an opportunity to carry this core back over towards LYTE's side of the map. Streak passes it back up to Elo Heaven, looking to find their way. Oh, but that's another KO earned there for Elo Heaven. Takes the Zentaro out. This is a big power play for core Overflow to try to get this goal opened up. Int knocks it on down. Elo Heaven turns it into 1. Gonna get passed over to Streak. Streak gonna be able to clear it back out. Corey just trying to buy some time for Leo to get his get his footing, and he does manage to do it. Now going to be knocked back on over. There's the Oni's blade, but it's going to be an opened up goal here for LYTE. Core Overflow with an opportunity to shut this game out. Leo not willing to let that happen. There's going to be another Bewitching Beam into Overflow in the one-on-one. He finds it, and he finds the game for Core Overflow.
Beautiful last answer from Core Overflow. It just felt like LYTE was in desperation mode that whole set. It felt like, you know, maybe the Awakenings didn't quite go their way. Maybe they weren't expecting the Asher goalie as much. You know, I really think the Asher goalie was kind of one of the highlights of that game for me. As we saw in-game MVP, I think, you know, caster MVP for me that game for sure. As we see 96 saves and 257 redirects. That's insane, Gordo. I mean, just the absolute iron wall of Asher. I mean, maybe Asher goalie's about to make a comeback, because as we see the power of it against these brawler characters trying to shove it in with that new buffed primary, right, on the defensive side, just that unbreakable wall, unable to go past it. And nothing they can do, really. It took a lot more creativity and a lot more power plays to actually get the goal berries and get the goals on those winning sets that they found, but Era Zentaro just not quite the best forward duo, I think, for the job.
Yeah, I mean, we saw even in that last set, took the goalie coming out of the goal arc, stepping up, using their core flip, using everything to even be able to sneak it past that Asher, getting really, really effective. And curious to see how that changes pick and ban coming into this game number 3. I mean, Streak could go for that one once again. Could, as you said, play plenty of other stuff as well. It's, you know, how much respect do you pay towards this Asher as the potential new meta it could be?
Yeah, it felt more like, you know, I don't really know if it's worth a ban right now. It possibly could be because they can flex that Asher forward as well with Elo Heaven. So it definitely could be a pretty decent ban, especially on maps like Night Market, as we just saw, where very, very strong pick regardless. But really, it's hard to say. I think a big problem that game was, excuse me, a big problem that game was definitely the forward duo presence, right? Really, the main times, you know, that LYTE was able to find any success is when they got those random KOs where Zentaro kind of just popped the heck off, right? But hard to do that consistently, right? You only have so many abilities, and you only have so much stagger on the enemy side, right? It's really hard to break through an X with Vicious Fan Braces and X Maximus and literally just everything to not get broken, right? So the Era, great at shutting people down, but not really the best at killing, and that's what they needed that game because it's so hard to score on an Asher one-on-one.
Yeah, it really is, and it's was really a tough run there for LYTE. I mean, they do still manage to take a set, so they are still showing a little bit of competition there, but they definitely want to try to find their way back into that form that they had in game number 1 coming into the decider here, going to determine who makes it on. And yeah, this is the first game 3 anyone's played in the NASL so far, Borg. You and I here for the very first one, as, you know, first game of playoffs going all the way to that game 3. Love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, really entertaining game. I think a lot of people, you know, competitive players and casual players can learn a lot from watching this last 2 games and hopefully this third game too, as we're queuing up for it. Hopefully not too many loading bugs or any loading bugs for that matter. That would be absolutely amazing, you know, but excited for this third game and hopefully some new picks, you know, as well. We kind of been seeing the same picks with that Estelle, with the Zentaro, with the Asher as goalie instead of forward. Definitely fun to see that new pick, but yeah.
All right, we're in the loading screen. You jinxed it, Borg. Look what you've done. So we got to the loading screen for a moment, but doesn't quite get us all the way there. We'll get there before too long. We'll find ourselves into that game. But I mean, if you're LYTE coming into this game number 3, right, you don't have the momentum any longer, but you did still have that shock value of your upset in the very first one. Gonna, of course, depend on the map a lot, but I want to see if they try to move away from that Zentaro for Leo Leon, or if they're just all in. I mean, he's looked great on it in the first 2 games. Just curious if maybe it's, you know, getting figured out a little bit, or if something like the Asher goalie maybe is the answer. You said it's way better against Juliet than it is against Zentaro, but it seemed to do a very good job of stopping Leo regardless of what he was on.
I think it's mainly good against those melee characters, the characters that need to be in your face to score. And Zentaro, while he does, you know, have the ability to dash and surprise people, it's still pretty good, right? Because if you're, you know, you're striking, you're primarying, you're trying to do that in the Asher's face, basically nothing can get past that primary wall. You know, nothing should be able to get past that primary Asher wall. So while it's amazingly good against the Julie, it's also really good against things like the X, like the Zentaro. Not quite the Rasmus, because the Rasmus, like I said, is able to stay at a range a lot more and, you know, uses size to try to keep it away. But one thing, you know, we saw the build different that game. I kind of want to touch on this point a little bit. We saw the build different on the Zentaro that game to try to take it away from the X, possibly from the Asher as well. I wonder if he would have gone with the Super Surge that game. Could he have found more barriers, maybe more goals, as he could have, played back, done a little bit more damage to the X, and then jumped in from midfield to try to find those surprise goals. Instead, he had to play up very far, couldn't really help kill the X, couldn't help pressure midfield, and it felt like they kind of just got ran over because of it.
Yeah, very possible. And I mean, it also can't go understated, right? The quick strike to start things off, that's definitely a lot of value for the X as well. It arguably could have been the only reason we saw the X in the first place. So, it might just be the starting awakenings that end up making a big difference in what characters can be played here coming into this game number 3, as well as the map selection.
Yeah, and as we're trying to get into the number 3 game, I mean, we were able to figure it out before. Hopefully, our technicians here, as we'll call them, are able to get us into these servers because we all want to play. Odie, we want to play. Get us into the servers. We want to see this game 3. Everyone's been dying for it. We got, however many views, 200 viewers right now on a random Monday. That's pretty crazy for a community tournament. So Thank you guys all for being here as well. And just want to get into this last game, man. I mean, trying to think of more talking points from last one, but I'm getting real impatient.
I'm getting impatient about it too, Borg. I mean, it is a great start to the playoffs. Let's say that at the very least, right? We get to go the full 3 games. We get 4th seed challenging the 1st seed legitimately, right? Like they've taken a whole game. They've taken a set even in the game they lost. They're coming into this game 3. You cannot really confidently say, oh, this is going to be an easy win for Core Overflow. And that's that kind of competition you want to see in the NASL. I mean, they did not have a perfect run over on Core Overflow. They did drop a couple of games along the way. And, their 3rd drop now of the season going to be in this first round of playoffs. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for upsets and a lot of opportunity for competition as this bracket continues to get played out over the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, and maybe we can touch on some of the other games coming up, and depending on how this game goes, kind of how the grand finals and the finals, and possibly a 3rd place game. I'm kind of spacing right now. I'm trying to remember the format for playoffs here. I believe it's both the quarterfinal, both the teams playing, right? I want to say that, but I don't know why. Maybe I'm just too strung up on OSPL and how that is single elim right now. I'm pretty sure it's double elim. I think you're right.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm looking at the sheet. Loser match 1 plays loser match 2 in match 4, loser semifinal. Yeah, we got it. We got the whole.
Okay, we got it. Yeah,
we got the whole double elim bracket here.
And you know what else we got, Gordo?
A game.
We got a game.
Let's go. I didn't see what the map was. It's Night Market. It's Night Market again.
Oh, the Zentaro ban. Okay, they are showing respect to the Zentaro. Oh, okay, so I'm a little bit afraid here, Gordo. He's going to be baited into picking this Juliet. I kind of want to see them go Era X here, because I'm not sure what the starting awakenings are, but I'm afraid if they pick Asher goalie again, Juliet's going to have a really, really hard time here. I don't know. I mean, they get Julia Estelle, X lock in again. Let's see. They don't ban the Dubu, so we get the Dubu. X Rasmus, actually. Oh, it's the Rasmus goalie. Was that an Asher ban? Oh, no, it wasn't an Asher ban. Is it Rasmus X forward with Asher? Okay, this is not a Night Market comp that I have seen before. This is looking like an Amy Zap comp if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, we're getting spicy with it. Yeah, I mean, loading on. So Leo is going to be going for that Juliet. He is going to have to play it up against Streak's Asher goalie. So it's the doomsday scenario you've talked about there, Borg. Let's see just how difficult this becomes for him. Corey going to be on the Estelle to try to assist out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think one thing to note, though, that because it is double melee on the side of Core Overflow for their forwards, I think Juliet might be able to actually just help out in midfield more, need to, possibly would like to see the awakenings and possibly the training, or excuse me, the gear here as well soon, and we'll actually get okay, got it. Ego as Super Surge start. Wow. Okay, so this is gonna be a game with a lot of core flips, Gordo.
Yeah, very possibly is. Yeah, a lot of egoist choices there. Is Leo Leon going to start us off there, getting the first KO of the match? Elo Heaven now on the Rasmus. Going to be speeding around, trying to buy some space. That's a nice use of the pass splitter by Streak to try to buy a little bit, but Leo's going to be brawling with him. Goes in for the core flip, but Streak able to play some great defense. Taking a fair bit of abuse for their trouble, though, and Corey going to be on the outskirts, ready to try to assist. Rose warps and piercing shots coming through, but not going to be able to find their way out of that barrier, and Streak finishes the job onto Juliet. getting that numbers advantage over for Core Overflow and opening up the goal. Elo Heaven up to Int, going in for the bell ringer, can't find it, passed down by Streak off the strike shot, but it's actually going to end up clearing it out and buying some time for Leo to get back on the map.
Yeah, and I mean, we just saw it there as I say that, you know, he finally loses that barrier, no abilities on the Asher, as Corey uses that core flip, not quite able to find it, and now Elo Heaven and Streak both having that energy burst ready. I mean, this is looking a little bit doomed here for LYTE, but signs of life as Leo, and Corey able to keep it forward. Corey looking awfully low on stagger as he get killed by the core flip from Elo Heaven, and as they say that, Leon able to find one right back, so we're probably going to be stagnated here until both midfielders respawn.
Yeah, Leo just juggling it between the wall and himself to buy a little bit of time. Doesn't think he can get past Streak on his own. Gonna get passed up. Corey is there with the Crystal Thorns. Rose Warp forward. Can't get it in. Core Flip going to block it and into Overflow. Knocks it in on the other side. That's the first goal for Core Overflow.
Yeah, patience on in Overflow there. Again, you know, we saw that actually in game 1, where, you know, Core Flip waiting for that Dubu roll and then hitting it into the opposite corner. Pretty good reads from him. And then the Asher goalie, like I said, both the chances they had actually getting that last barrier before actually they got it themselves, as one of them goes down for LYTE here, was just completely stuffed by that Asher primary. So love to see the good use of that.
Yeah, definitely. Corey going to get bullied around by Int Overflow there a little bit, and they're going to lose a goal barrier for it. You Already Lose ready to spin up, ready to knock it over. Corey ready to receive, knocked up by You Already Lose, and Leo going to be able to open up a goal barrier, but it's going to be at the cost of a teammate. No more Estelle to back him up now, and it gets passed over to Int Overflow and Elo Heaven, ready to pair up and open up this goal. Int going in for that bell ringer, passed over to Elo. They do manage to open up the goal, and they're not letting up anytime soon. A nice block off the rollout, though. You Already Lose, managing to clear it back out, and now Leo ready to receive, knocks it back on the other side, trying to capitalize on the time bought for him by his goalie, but so far Streak going to be playing some great defense, going to be able to clear it back out. Tofu Fortress buys some more time. Int Overflow passed up to Elo Heaven, rolled out back away, and more space bought by You Already Lose.
Yeah, and I mean, great plays there from Leo and Corey to kind of come back, help together, and just keep it away from the goal once You Already Lose's cooldowns were done. And then obviously, like you said, amazing play from You Already Lose there, keeping it away from the net and using all of his abilities to save it. As you know, this last goal barrier is not going down. As I say that, Caster Curse, I need to talk more for the state of LYTE. I guess I'm just their coach at this rate too. Corey with the chance, not able to find the bottom corner, and Elo Heaven takes it away as Streak also finds the clear. Dangerous here as You Already Lose gets the core, and now we're kind of back to neutral once again. As I say that, and the dash punch into the bottom corner around the Asher primary. As I was talking about, you can't dash punch through it, so why not go around it?
Now, LYTE Borg, you're going to have to add that to the Discord screen name.
Oh, yeah.
Show those affiliations here, Borg, as you cast them through it once again. They find themselves their first goal of the game, and we're tied 1-1 in game number 3 for our round 1 of playoffs. Now passed on down. You Already Lose playing up at midfield. Corey going to be able to clear it out with the Crystal Thorns. Does manage to open up at least one of these, but now has to watch out. Going to be stuck in the bottom, as is Elo Heaven. Leo nearly taking him out there. The evasive going to be very necessary. Core flip coming through. Second core flip into the goal. Leon taking a 2-1 lead.
So that was really, really beautiful. Just found that angle, able to core flip in front of all three, you know, looking grim, but waits the whole time, just absolutely waits for that primary cooldown to come up as he used it a little bit before, gets the cooldown up, punches it through, hits all three, gets a kill for his troubles as well as the goal. And great play there from Leo Leon.
Yeah, and now building up a lead for LYTE, their first lead in a while. It's now going to be knocked on over. Goal barriers opened up for each side. Elo Heaven chunked out, going to be staggered, trying to knock it in with the pendulum swing. Can't quite find it. Int Overflow goes in for the bell ringer, stepping up, wants to score. Nice block by You Already Lose. Passes it down to Corey. Elo Heaven, though, taking control with Whiplash, but just gets knocked off the bottom. Nice play there by the side of LYTE as Leo Leon wants to take this first set, knocking it back up, passing it on down, trying to get it to Corey. It will finally be knocked over there by You Already Lose. The piercing shot passed it up to Leo, looking to get it in there. A nice core flip, a nice punch, and Leo Leon takes set one for LYTE.
And I mean, Streak stuffing it over and over again, but the Egoist, that core flip coming up so often, and the Estelle managing to keep it forward to Leo, giving Leo as many chances as he wants. And really well played to Leo that set, you know, gets the MVP for a reason, and he gets rewarded with the size for it, the big fish, right? So I think just really good adaptations from the Juliet there, keeping it actually distancing himself away from the Asher primary so that he doesn't get hit by it, so he can keep it forward and keep that pressure up. And just to finish up this draft, Castlas Dubu going to be stunning for an incredibly long time. Twin Drive Asher, definitely very strong, gives 2 dashes. Deadeye on the Rasmus, Orb Dancer on the X, and Spark of Agility. 3 sparks here, not quite the best, but I mean, that's all he could have taken, right? So maybe he gets Spark of Resilience, maybe he can make use of it, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, you get to start out with your boost there, so you gotta take the L's somewhere. Is not gonna be happy with that selection, but pretty much everybody else gets some real valuable awakenings there, and Leo now just playing up in the faces here, has so much damage here with the Flame Flurry, just knocks into Overflow down so low, and Corey finishes the job. A numbers advantage for LYTE. There's going to be the Rose Thorns to open things up, and an explosive start to set number 2 for LYTE. Going to be trying to turn this one into a goal, and Leo gets it with the Flying Phoenix once again.
Yeah, and the dash punch there, the primary was not quite angled at the Julia. It was definitely angled down because he could not quite reach it with his strike range there for Streak. But because of that, you know, the dash punch able to come through as the Juliet's not getting stuff. So Leo just, I mean, proving me wrong, showing that Juliet is just not shut down by Asher. Maybe it's just a skill diff on my part, Gordo.
It could be. It's possible. I mean, Leo playing like a monster in this game number 3, though. I mean, we were so impressed by Zentaro in game number 1. He was still solid in game number 2, but he has been a whole nother animal in this game at number 3, getting so much done. And Leo, if he can keep this up, is going to be a really solid game number 3 coming out of LYTE. Elo Heaven, though, looking to strike back, does manage to find himself one of those goal barriers. Leo, staggered, pinned up in the corner, but does manage to sneak through. Never mind, Elo Heaven calls it quits with the death touch. But now Dubu, playing up and aggressive. You already lose. Core flips it back away, but now has to return back from whence he came and play a little bit of defense.
Yeah, he core flipped there. I'm not sure if he meant to angle it backwards like that. Definitely, I guess he just maybe a little misinput there, but I mean, was so fast that he just kind of ran back to it anyway, so it does not matter in the end. Corey there with a great attempted core flip. Not able to find the kill on Elo Heaven or the barrier there. Actually, as I say, that does get the barrier there. I'm not quite sure what got that. I did not quite catch it. Probably a missed strike on the side of there. As we see the, I believe that was a special from Corey. Yeah, lots of random things going on there. A lot of missed strikes, a lot of interesting play. But, I mean, great play from Corey to able to squeeze in that goal.
A disaster there for Into Overflow. He knocks it away from the center. It hits the middle speed boost, boosts itself on down towards the bottom. It just gets snuck in by Corey. I mean, that's a tilter right there if you're Streak. He's going to have to make a big recovery from that in a really short order, as they are now down 2-0 in this second set at risk of going to set point. And now Leo stepping up, finds himself a KO off the back of the core flip. He and Corey now have a chance to play aggro. You already lose, stepping up towards midfield, ready to cover up any weaknesses, throws out the rollout, but it is going to get successfully cleared away by Streak for the time being. Leo going to be ready to receive. There's going to be a nice pull back up by Elo Heaven on the death touch, but can't quite find this last barrier. All stuffed, all 3 members sitting there ready to strike the core as soon as they need to. Now passed back up by Streak. Leo knocks it on down. Streak going to be ready to receive, though. Still playing good defense on this top side, and they can't get it down towards Corey on the bottom. He's going to be able to step up. He's looking for the Rose Warp. A nice core flip from Streak, though. Gonna clear things back out, and Leon taking a bunch of damage over on the other side. Passed back up towards Streak. You already lose on the bottom, ready to defend. It gets past the path splitter, but Leo gets pushed into the goal, and Elo Heaven going to build themselves the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it just took so many abilities to kill Leo, though. You know, he was living for so long. It took literally, I think, almost every ability in the game over the course of that time he was alive, and now he's already back up, right? No abilities to get that last barrier. So definitely a really, really good play from Leo there to actually survive for so long and to make them use so many abilities for their troubles. And now Elo Heaven, no energy, looking real grim as a great... Oh my goodness! Okay, so basically Elo Heaven pulled Corey off of the middle barrier into the own net. As I say that, you already lose, sprints up the field with momentum boost, core flips into the bottom net. So, absolute chaos. I mean, this entire game, but LYTE is kind of getting the better of it here as we get into draft.
It's a 2-0 lead for LYTE, Borg. I cannot believe I'm saying this right now, but they're doing such a great job in this game number 3, and they are just one set of win away from making themselves a participant in the winner's side finals.
Yeah, and I mean, going into draft here, I think they're kind of postured to do well. Quick Strike gonna give him a little bit more energy to get those core flips faster. You'd think he might want to take extra special for that wall, but I guess he did not quite value it as much. We're gonna see pancakes onto Elo Heaven, the stacks, the Chrono Boost onto Into Overflow, and then the stacks onto Leo and Glass Cannon onto Corey. So nothing too crazy, but definitely going to be a little bit useful here with that Quick Strikes from the Dubu.
Yeah, now looking to take momentum back here. Core Overflow, no more room for error in their winner's side run, or they are going to be taking a bit of a trip down to the loser's bracket. A nice KO earned by Elo Heaven. Well-placed pendulum swing, but Leo stepping up one-on-one up against Streak. Not going to be able to find any. You already lose. He misses the tumble.
Yeah, I mean, just textbook power play there, right? Pretty good, able to find, you know, the core. Streak walking up, getting the core to Elo Heaven, getting the core to into Overflow. Elo Heaven able to find the angle to get it in. And I mean, really just heads up play all around, able to find that KO too. And I think trying to bring it back, trying to calm down, cool, calm, collected play against LYTE here, not going to get a little bit, you know, nervous, because they can't. They have no room to be nervous here. This is their last set as, oh my goodness, Leon gets the flip, gets both barriers, and not able to find the goal. So definitely still breathing room here for Core Overflow.
For sure, so they are going to be able to clear it back down towards the bottom. Int Overflow, looking to fight, looking for a target to hit with his bell ringer, and going to do just that. Rings, you already loses bell just a little bit, but can't find the angle. Onto the core flip, and down towards the bottom. Streak has to use everything to defend there, but now there's nothing left for the top corner. Leon with another goal.
Yeah, and actually the stacks kind of showing up there with the size too on the big fish that he got earlier in the game. Able to get there on time with that extra movement speed. I think it is about fully stacked now. Julia and Zentara, both characters very well known for actually being able to stack core flip very well. And the flip into the dip, but no dip. He's just going to score off the soft core flip, waiting everything out. Holy.
Leon cannot be stopped in this game number 3. Just punching it in pretty much single-handedly there up against Streak. And now on the verge, 1 goal away from completing the upset and winning this game, winning this series 2-1. Going to already take down 1 barrier. Here comes Corey on the bottom side. Can't let up now, as they still have to get this 1 last goal. Leo going to knock it into the top barrier. Int Overflow taking control back over onto the other side. Corey going to be low on stagger, trying to keep himself standing, just trying to be able being able to be there to support Leon, but he's going to get taken off the map. And now a chance for Core Overflow to strike back here with the numbers advantage. Fire Flurry to buy some space. Goal opened up here. You already lose. Has to play defense. There's going to be the path splitter. Corey's respawned. If they can clear it back over, and they do, they have a little bit more time to play with. Corey stepping up on the top side, passing it down towards the center, looking to get it into Leo's hands. He's going to have the Flame Phoenix coming up forward, can't quite knock it in. Now going to be the core flip coming through from Streak. There's going to be a KO on the goalie. They once again are going to look to score this for the side of Core Overflow, but Corey playing defense, making up for the absence of the Dubu. Leon stepping up towards midfield, ready to receive, goes for the Flame Flurry, knocks it down towards the bottom. Corey ready to receive, knocking it forward, looking to find his goal. Rose Warp from Corey, can't find it, and it's still going to continue to go on. Corey knocked back up towards midfield. There's going to be the Tofu Fortress to buy a little bit more space, sneaks it in through the top side. Elo Heaven trying to knock it in off the pendulum swing, can't find the target, and now Corey looking for these piercing shots. Leo looking to finish the job, gets a KO, but no goal for it. Knocked back up towards the center, and it just slides in right past Streak. Corey finishes the game. 2-1 win for the side of LYTE.
And Corey just with the absolute, I mean, he became, you know, spawns back up. I just need to gather my thoughts here for a second, Gordo. Basically, that round was insane. And LYTE upsetting Core Overflow, the 4th seed, taking down the 1st seed and getting into that winner's final side on the bracket. I mean, just absolutely bonkers play from Corey there at the end, but really, you're already losing Leo too. I mean, Leon, I said at the beginning, Julia is going to have a really hard time to score on that Asher, right? And he definitely did on that first set. He was struggling a little bit, able to find, you know, with the help of Corey and those Estelle beams, those Estelle primaries, able to find the barriers, able to get that first set anyway. But, I mean, 3-0? I did not expect this, Gordo.
What an insane pop-off by Leon in this game number 3, clutching up here in the playoffs, making so much happen in this game number 3 on the Juliet. 2 great games with Zentara, but he switches back to basics, and he just dominates it.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I need to see that last... I think I need to see that last round again, Gordo, because Corey, I mean, maybe he's a goalie player. Who knows? Like, has he been practicing goalie? Because that was some of the best defense I've seen from a forward in a long time. He held it down for the entire time Dubu was dead, and then Leon just able to keep it midfield, able to kind of block off the passes as well, and finds the shot too. I believe we're going to see it soon on these, replays, hopefully. But man, just the utter patience and play from both forwards there, and you already lose with the lockdown play, just able to not let the Ford brothers on core overflow, do what they want. But
I
man,
mean,
whew,
woo,
that was a
I
game.
I can't
That
believe
was
it.
a game.
In a series where Core Overflow chose this opponent, by the way, LYTE,
Yeah.
they had that a choice between LYTE and Finesse. They chose LYTE. They said this is the matchup we can win. A 2-1 upset here for the side of LYTE. They're going to be moving on to the winner's final. Core Overflow got a lot to think about as they drop down to the loser's bracket.
Yeah, definitely not the end of them. I think they looked really, really strong in especially that first and second game, both a little bit closer. But that last game, I'd like to think maybe that Rasmus midfield was not the pick. I've seemed like they were lacking a little bit of that ranged presence and a little bit of that speed, possibly from a different midfielder. With the Jakar being banned, not able to have that, but possibly, go back to that Estelle like they've been playing so well otherwise, or possibly, try something else, like maybe pick Era yourself, X Era, another really amazing comp here. But I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like there's so much going wrong. They had the KO advantage just slightly by 2 KOs, and it looked like they had the damage advantage as well, but just not able to put it in. You already lose just, a wall of tofu that entire game.
Yes, gets so much work done. I mean, I'm really, really surprised at this result. And it asks a lot of questions, right, about how LYTE can do running through the rest of this bracket. I mean, this was the strongest team in the East Conference, at least on paper.
Yeah.
Obviously DLS, a great challenger in their own rights, did have the same overall record. But gonna be a really interesting matchup. The expected matchup for the side of LYTE coming into the winners finals. But after this game, who knows? I mean, Finesse could make it up here too.
Yeah, I think all these top 4 teams are amazing. Like we saw, we said Corverflow first seed playing really well in the regular season. LYTE falling short a little bit in that week 3, but able to come back strong in that off-stream game and in that week 4 as well, the last game versus Prodigies to secure playoffs. I think they've had a little bit of a reawakening, right? Leo's been playing a lot of Diablo 4 recently, so maybe his mechanics are getting a little better for Omega Strikers because of it. You never know, might cross over a little bit, you know. Well, time might tell as we get into the winners finals for that on another day. Just a reminder to the viewers, this isn't all the playoff matches today. The other one, I believe, will be on Wednesday, if I remember correctly, and I will be back casting for that. And the other one's scheduled for sometime after Pro League as well. A bit of a hiccup, with the OSPL, the Pro League coming up. But this Saturday, the Pro League will be on as well. So you got plenty of tournament games to watch, plenty of competitive Omega Strikers to watch as well. And man, rewatch this game too, because absolute banger of a
I'm going
series.
to. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What a great run here. What a great series. There's going to be more playoffs to be played. Stay tuned on the Discord for when those are going to be scheduled. We're looking to schedule finals for not this weekend, but next weekend after Pro League is done with. I'm sure Borg and I will be back on here and there where we can be throughout this run. Plenty of other great casters going to be here as well. Plenty of other great teams going to be showing their matches, and a whole Western Conference to check out as well once we get started on that one. But that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I mean, Borg, any shout outs you want to do? Any socials you want to drop before we close out?
You can follow me on Twitch, Jord_OS, not Borg, Jord. That's my actual name,
Okay.
_OS. I've been streaming a little bit more recently. I'll be streaming probably Primetime Tuesday tomorrow, the tournament, and I'll be probably streaming the OSPL, the official Odyssey Pro League, on Saturday with my team in the top 8 bracket. So definitely tune in for that, if not for my team, but for all the other teams playing. So that will definitely be a banger. And yeah, that's about it for me. What about you, Gordo?
Yeah. I don't have a Twitch. I don't stream that much, but I do have a Twitter at GordoCasts. Go check that out. I do mostly League of Legends stuff, but I'm always on there with some Omega Strikers as well. I'll be back in future Omega Strikers streams, I hope. So stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for the rest of playoffs. And thank you all for tuning in. For myself, Borg, and Scion Production, we will see you guys next time.